Hey guys, let me ask you something. Have negative thoughts ever snowballed on you? You know, the kind of thoughts that start small but grow louder and more overwhelming the more attention you give them. It's like you're tuned into the wrong frequency, and no matter what you do, you can't seem to change the channel. Today, we're going to talk about how to take back control, how to tune into God's frequency of faith, love, and connection, and dismantle the antenna that is broadcasting fear, shame, and separation. This is about reclaiming your mind, your heart, and your life. My name is Jason Mellard. I am a certified high performance coach, husband material coach, and the founder of Own Your Identity. I am committed to empowering men to live beyond their unwanted same sex attractions and into their purpose through the power of Christ and for the glory of God. Before we dive in, I want to share this incredible review from a listener. Jason's podcast is nothing short of transformative. What sets this podcast apart is Jason's willingness to share the raw and unfiltered parts of his journey. He seamlessly ties his experiences to the profound love of Jesus and reminds us that our true identity is rooted in him. I'm grateful for the unique impact Jason has made on me. And if you're looking for a podcast that blends real-world experiences with deep spiritual truths, Own Your Identity is the one to listen to. Wow, I'm so grateful for that feedback. It's a reminder of me why I show up here every week, to connect with you, to share honestly, and to help you step into the fullness of who God created you to be. So, let's dive in. Here is an analogy that has helped me when I have felt stuck in negative cycles. Imagine you've been given two antennas. One is tuned to a frequency of faith, love, and connection. The other antenna is tuned to fear, lack, and separateness. Now, here's the kicker. Your actions either build up these antennas or tear them down. Let me paint a picture of how this could play out. Meet Sam. He's a guy much like me, and maybe much like you. One night, Sam was invited to an axe-throwing event with some guys from church. But instead of saying yes, fear crept in. Bad idea, he thought. I'll embarrass myself. They'll see how unmanly I am. So he stayed home. 2 pages into a book, Sam's chest felt heavy. He pictured the camaraderie that he had declined, the laughter, the pats on the back. His apartment was silent, his shoulder cold. And then his mind wandered to the warm glow of his computer screen, where he had found comfort before. He swapped the book for his laptop, and for 2 hours, he clicked away, numbing the loneliness. When his phone pinged with a text, "Sorry we missed you," he stared at it until the screen went dark. "This is stupid," he told himself. "I am a loser." He shut the laptop, muttered a rote confession, and sank into bed, replaying his regrets as shame covered him like a blanket. I've been there. But here's the thing. Every choice that Sam made that night extended his negatively tuned antenna. Declining the invitation out of fear, that was the first step. Turning to porn for comfort, that attached the antenna to the peak of his roof. Entertaining shame, that swapped it for a satellite dish. And the next day, those negative messages, I'll be rejected, I can't change, God doesn't want me in my mess, came through loud and clear. Why? Because his actions agreed with the lies. But here is what I have learned. Satan loves to turn up the bass on those negative thoughts. He amplifies the lies until they reverberate in your body, making them feel true. But here's the good news. What he offers is not as powerful as what God gives. Satan just has to turn up the volume because his signal is weak. Throughout my life, God has told me I have worth and value, that he'll provide for my every need, and that I can live free from fear. But for a long time, I didn't get the message. My negative antenna was formidable, while the one tuned to God was barely out of the starter kit. In the midst of strong feelings, when lies seem to surround you. A simple step of faith can change everything. Calling a friend for support, that perks your ears to hear God's still small voice. Going for a gratitude walk, that clears some of the noise. Reading God's word and talking to him, that gives you a direct feed to truth. You don't have to stay stuck. You can take back control. But it starts with awareness. What thoughts are you tuned to? Which ones are loud? Which ones rev your emotions? And which ones are faint but true? Hold them all against the truth of God's word. Let what is true penetrate your mind and body. Test your beliefs and impulses. And then, this is key, take action aligned with the truth. Because every decision you make either builds up your positive antenna or your negative one. So let's get practical for a minute. Picture your antennas again. Which one are you building? Which one are you dismantling? Every choice matters. Every action makes an impact. And here's how this could play out in real life. Strengthening your negative antenna might look like this. You see another guy and immediately tell yourself you don't measure up. You avoid challenges because you don't feel man enough. Or maybe you hold eye contact with someone who wants something from you that you aren't meant to give. Each of these actions reinforces the lies. Lies about your worth, your identity, and your purpose. But the good news is you can choose differently. You can build your positive antenna. It's from God. That might mean walking away from a scene of temptation and processing it with curiosity alongside a trusted friend or mentor. It could mean setting a boundary with someone who's mistreating you, even when it feels uncomfortable. Or maybe it's asking God to give you a clear vision for your future and taking a courageous action toward it, even if you're scared. Every time you make a choice aligned with faith, love, and connection, you're tuning into God's frequency. You're dismantling the lies and amplifying the truth. And over time, those positive choices will become your new default. John Gordon, in his book, The One Truth, outlines a simple method to tune into God's frequency. He calls it tune, T-U-N-E. T, trust in truth. Trust in God's promises and align your thoughts with his truth. U, unite with God. Spend time in his presence through prayer, worship, and his word. N, neutralize the negativity. Identify the lies and replace them with truth. Say them out loud. E, elevate your thinking. Focus on what is good, noble, and praiseworthy. When you practice this, you'll notice something incredible. The intensity of those dead-end desires, like unwanted same-sex attractions or the pull toward negative habits, will begin to diminish. Why is that? It's because you're dismantling Satan's megaphone and opening yourself up to receive from God. So this week, I want to challenge you to take one intentional step to build your positive antenna. Maybe it's walking away from a temptation and calling a friend to process it. Maybe it's sharing vulnerably with a trusted mentor. Or maybe it's taking one small, courageous step toward the future vision that God has for your life. Whatever it is, remember, you are not defined by the lies or the feelings that demand to be acted on. You're defined by the one who calls you his. So, let your next action tune you to God's frequency and watch how his truth becomes louder in your life. Thanks for joining me today. If this is a message that resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I would also like to invite you to join me and a small group of men on a 12-week journey to a life of greater purpose and possibility, unhindered by obsession or shame regarding unwanted attractions. Here is a short testimonial from a current group member. I really appreciate you, Jason, because I have made more progress regarding my same-sex attractions in a few weeks than I have in a few decades. Thanks, brother. I love that. You can visit ownyouridentitynow.com to learn more and book a free coaching session to apply. And remember, you're not defined by your attractions. You're defined by the one who calls you his. Until next time, keep tuning into him. You've got this. I'll talk with you soon.